Hiya guys, what is going on? Iveco here, and today I wanted to welcome you to another Make It Great Again video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at American Truck Simulator, or ATS for short. We're going to be looking at the good side of ATS, the bad side of ATS, so the problems of ATS, and some of the solutions of ATS. And once we've gone through all of that, I am then going to summarize all of these points and whether or not I think that the game can be made great again. Now, for those of you wondering what is American Truck Simulator, let me explain to you. ATS is a truck simulation driving game. It is currently set in the US with the 3 states available at the present time of recording being California, Nevada, and Arizona. The game is currently made by a company called SCS Software, who have also made the former game Euro Truck Simulator 2. They also make a lot of other simulation games, so they are pretty much a simulation company. But let's move on into what I think is good about the game. Okay, now to look at some of the good points for ATS, because I do realise in my last Killing Floor 2 video that I kind of was a little bit too one-sided when it came to talking about Killing Floor 2. I didn't really highlight what the good stuff was about it, so I wanted to open up now and in future videos a new section starting off with what I think the good stuff is and what they're currently doing really well. So to get to the first point, the graphics are a hell of a lot better than its predecessor. Now, nothing wrong with ETS2 graphics, but it is amazing to see the change that it's gone through from ETS's base game to ATS's base game. There's definitely been a huge graphical upgrade, and it makes the game so much more better. Running through truck depots and running through towns like Barstow and Bakersfield, seeing the little seeing the sign saying "Welcome to Bakersfield," seeing the little details within the towns and whatnot, I think are really, really neat touches that are only going to make this game so much more better. Another really good thing is the unique road networks and sections, and them giving us more interesting routes to drive. Now, there's a lot more spaghetti junctions, especially if you come into Arizona. It's one of the things I highlighted in my Arizona review as being really good was the unique road networks. And it's nice to see that they're developing new infrastructure and new roads to try and add that realistic feel to make it almost that not every road is the same and that there is more than just driving down a road to this game and just going from point A to B. There's actually sights and sounds and whatnot on the way to your destination, which ties in with the graphics as well. So it's definitely really nice to see what they're doing with the new unique road sections and whatnot. Now, this is a very key point for the good thing. It still retains that feeling that compels you to play it, just like ETS2. Those of you that do not play ATS and ETS, you're probably looking at me and like, why the hell do you even play this game? Like, what is so interesting about it? And to be honest with you, I can't tell you. I honestly cannot tell you. There is just something about this game, and you can probably ask any ATS or ETS fan, that they just have feeling that they're compelled to play it, whether it's multiplayer, playing on the convoys or whatnot, driving in convoys. If you're in like 6 or 7 man convoys, if you like doing single player jobs and building your own company or something, there's nothing really you can pinpoint on it. But there is something there that compels you to pick the game up and play it. And it's kind of like my previous video with Killing Floor 2. It is, again, another one of those relaxing games that you can just pick up and play and you don't have to really worry about too much. Now, for my final point on what I think is good, the price at the current point so far is good for what you get. Now, at the time of this recording, ATS is priced at £15, Great British Pounds. And for that, we get California, Nevada, and Arizona. Now, for the current content that we've got, I do think this is a decent price, and I do think it's a nice move by SCS that they didn't decide to go and jack up the price to like £30, £40 or something ridiculous like that. I think that's really nice of them that they've kept the price low on the basis of what content that they've got. So I definitely like that as a good move. So yeah, this is some of the good stuff to come with ATS, and now I'm going to be looking at some of the problems for ATS. Okay, now to look at some of the problems that ATS has and what is prohibiting this from becoming an amazing or an outstanding game, or making this game great again. Now, my first main issue is I can't seem to tell whether it's a simulation game or if it's a driving game. Now, for those of you that are going to comment, dude, it says it in the name, it's American Truck Simulator. Yes, I know. But if it is a true simulation game, where is my crawler gear? Where is my proper weight regulations instead of just going through a truck weighing station and saying, oh, your truck's 77,000 pounds, piss off. You know, maybe that there's fines in for that, because if you go over weight regulations in real life, there are serious consequences to it. why do we not have the ability to buy used trucks like we do in ETS2? Now, I understand this may be a feature they're implementing in soon, but it's kind of a thing that needs to be added, because we don't just sit there and buy new trucks in real life. We also buy used trucks as well and whatnot. Next thing is, why can we not buy our own trailers for jobs? Companies in the modern day, like Stobart and whatnot, they use their own trailers. They don't use other companies' trailers. So when they're loading freight, like empty pallets or packaging or whatever, they have their own trailers. Why can we not buy and upgrade our own trailers? That would be an amazing feature, so that we could then go to depots, load our own goods onto pallets and whatnot. Then we have to make sure that we have adequate amount of weight, that we do not go overweight, which then actually has the realistic setting of you have to be careful how you load your trailer so that you do not breach these weight regulations. So definitely can't seeming to tell whether this is a simulation or a driving game is a big issue for me at this point. That could change, but at this point it is an issue for me. Now, my next point is lack of content, and this is in regards to trucks and map content. Now, before you get on my case and say, dude, they can't do nothing about the trucks, there's licensing issues. I know it is. I understand that licensing is a pain in the ass to do, but it still kind of sucks that there's not trucks in the game right now. And I know it's probably not SCS's fault. I know they're probably having their balls held over the fire at the moment over trying to get new trucks into the game, and that Peterbilt and Mack and whatnot and Freightliner and other trucking brands are not willing to give out the licensure. I understand that, and I don't think it's a huge problem, but it does need to be addressed soon. But it's kind of not their fault, so I'm not going to go into too much detail saying this is an issue and their fault. Now, the next point is we need more unique areas. So in the next DLC, I really hope we don't go to somewhere like New Mexico. What I think we need to do is a complete change of scenery. Now, California, Arizona, and Nevada were nice, but they're pretty much a bit of the old same thing, you know what I mean? They're kind of the same routes to drive, the same old dusty desert roads and whatnot. I think if you were asking me, my personal opinion would be going north from California into Oregon, because Oregon's 3 different kind of climates. They have the foresty, mountainous areas, they have the coast, and they also have the cold, wintry areas as well. Will add a whole new perspective to the game, just like Scandinavia did to ETS2. It adds a whole new, fresh perspective to the game, and it will make the game so much more fun to drive, that we're not just driving down these same roads, and we're not just driving these same dusty desert roads and whatnot. So I definitely think lack of content is an issue, but I know they're going to be addressing this and whatnot, so it's going to be addressed. And just to add to that point, more companies. Now, I know in the Arizona they added in Phoenix Flight, but I definitely think once they start branching out into new DLC areas, they need to be adding in new companies. For example, I don't think that there's going to be a Gallon Oil on one side of the coast and also maybe a Gallon on the other side of the coast. Maybe there's 2 different companies depending on what side of the coast they're on, for example. So there's definitely lack of contents being a problem. My next issue is a big one for me, is split focus between games at the moment. There's ETS2, ETS2 is still being worked on while ATS is being worked on. Now, I understand there is a hardcore following. I have debated this on stream before. I do understand there's a hardcore following still on ETS2, and I'm not saying when I say there's a split focus that they should totally abandon ETS2. No. I think there should still be a minimum team sitting on ETS2 doing minimum upgrades to infrastructure and also making sure that the game doesn't have bugs or issues. But what I do think is most of the team needs to be working on ATS at the moment. I don't think they should be working on the France DLC at the moment. Maybe once Oregon or maybe two more states have come out, for example, so there is a solid and sizable amount of content in ATS out, then they go and look back at the France DLC. But we can't change the present, so that's kind of it's kind of a big issue for me. But another thing that really ticks me off is stuff like recently, many of you know that SCS have just recently released the flag packs for you to hang your flags outside of your window on your truck. Now, I don't understand why this was done on ETS2, but not ATS. It kind of seems pretty pointless. You're promoting the wrong game. Your new game is ATS. This is going to be your moneymaker. Why are you promoting another game, another older game, when you've got a brand new game here? Another issue is why is cabin accessories packs not in? Now, I know this is probably they're working on this as well, but it still kind of sucks that it's not in there on the new game. Another real problem I have is Rocket League partnership on ETS2 but not ATS. Now, I understand the Rocket League partnership is a great idea. I have no quarrels or qualms with it. I think it's a great idea that they're working with other brands to try and promote themselves and get their name out there. But why was this not done on their new product? Why was this done on their pre-existing product of ETS2? This is a real potential that they've missed here, that they could have sat there and got themselves more sales and more revenue generated if they were to go and do this partnership deal with Rocket League 2 on ATS and maybe say there was a special weekend where they did discount prices and whatnot. So I definitely think they've missed the trick with that one. Also, I don't see why there's no paint packs on ATS at the moment. Now, this is more in relation to content of why there's no paint packs on ATS, but could it be because that split focus that they haven't been able to update new paint packs onto ATS? I don't know. Okay, so my next point is World of Trucks is not being used to its maximum potential. Now, those of you that don't know what World of Trucks is, it's basically it's an in-game online system that lets you customize your number plates, lets you take exclusive contracts, and also allows you to sign up account and hook it to your World of Trucks profile so you can synchronize your jobs and whatnot with other people. Which is all great. But I don't see no real use to it. Now, the Flag Packs DLC you could obtain for free if you've done free World of Trucks content. It's a good idea. That is a very good idea, and I did like that. But at the moment, what are the real reasons, can you tell me, for using World of Trucks? It's, I can customize my number plate so I can put Mr. Iveco on the front and rear of my plates. Yay, just what I wanted. You know, it's a good feature, don't get me wrong, but I still don't see it as being a real great feature. And I can show off the amount of jobs I've done on my contract so people can view my profile and say, hey, look, Mr. Iveco's done 4 jobs on World of Trucks contracts. Yay! So, okay, what's the benefit of that? Maybe if they added in a system like competitions and whatnot, then something along those lines. But I will get onto this more into the solutions, which is what I'm going to go into now. Okay, to now look at some of the solutions to the problems that I stated there. Now, my first main solution would be to work on ATS more than ETS. I definitely think they should wrap up the France DLC, but once they've wrapped up the France DLC, they need to leave a minimum team on ETS2 to make sure that the infrastructure is running and there's not any game-breaking bugs or whatnot, or anything along those lines. And they should be moving the majority of the team onto ATS now and getting themselves set up on the ATS brand and getting more content out for it. I think they need to hold off on making any more DLCs after France for at least until there's probably about maybe 5 states in the ATS game. So if there's 5 states, then that's a solid amount of content, and then they can think about looking back and maybe going, oh yeah, now we can do Spain, or now we can add in Spain or Portugal, or now we can add in Italy, we can redo Italy and whatnot. I think that they need to wait off and then make sure there's at least a sizable amount of content in ATS before they go on and move on to any more things in ETS. Now, my next solution is using the modding community. The modding community is a big part of ATS. And also for ETS, there's a load of people like JazzyCat, ProMods, TSM, who make amazing modding content for you guys. And it sometimes isn't recognized. Some people don't know about these mods and how much of an impact they can make to your game, or how much more amazing they could make the game. So what I think they should do, this will help to alleviate content issues, by the way, is... Now, I know SCS have already hired map modders to help with the maps, which is a good start. And they also posted an article today that they have also increased the amount of 3D visual designers and whatnot that they've brought in, which is very good to hear. It means that more content is going to be coming out soon, and hopefully a bit quicker than what we've had before. What I think a good idea would be is for SCS to host like a highlight of the week. So maybe in their news section, have a mod highlight of the week. So where they pick one mod, they get somebody to write an article saying, this is my highlight mod of the week. So if it's a realistic gearbox settings, realistic transmissions, or paint job, paint pack, trailer pack, etc. And then basically it gives people an opportunity to play it and explore a different side of the game that they've never played before. And if people like it that much, then they can add this into the game. So if it is something like a really nice trailer pack that people like, then possibly they can think about adding this into the game so that it doesn't have any issues of conflicting with mods or any issues for that. Definitely think that would be a very good idea. And I think they should also, because I said in the problem section that there's no paint jobs for content-wise, that there isn't that many paint jobs. There's a hell of a lot of paint jobs out there made by the modding community. So what I think would be a very clever idea by SCS from a marketing standpoint is let them host a paint job competition where anyone can submit entries on different and unique paint packs and see what people think of them. People have the opportunity to vote on them. So let's say if it's if someone does like a Celtic design, for example, that gets put up, and maybe have the top 10 items or the top 10 paint jobs get voted in as a DLC pack that we can buy. This pack of like the community highlights of, I don't know, the ATS paint job competition 2016, something along those lines, because it gets the modders involved with the game. It shows the modders that you care about their input and what they actually do. Now, I do know the Steam Workshop does help to do this, but if you do something like a competition like this, it will encourage modders to get more and more content out, which is only more beneficial for your game. Now, my next suggestion is to make more use of World of Trucks. Now, I did brush over this as being a problem, as there's not much to do in it. Some of the things I do to fix it was, for example, in multiplayer, we have what's called virtual trucking companies, or VTCs. The biggest one probably being Truck Sim Radio at the moment. And they do huge convoys consisting of near enough 100 people to 150 people during Wednesdays at 6 p.m. UK time, and also on Sundays. Now, what I think they should do with World of Trucks is they have a system called external contracts where you can take a set contract from one destination to another. Now, I take this to another grander scale. What I would do is have a VTC contract. So let's say the whole of your VTC can then, this is going to require some synergy between multiplayer and SCS, obviously, which is definitely another thing that I can bring up. Is the VTCs have a set contract. So let's say they've got to deliver 60 loads to a construction site. So let's say one of the road sites on the map needs a set amount of construction materials and whatnot. Have it so that VTCs can set themselves up a contract like that where they do specific jobs to specific paces, and they've got to fulfill some set contracts before a set deadline. So I don't know, deliver 60 loads before the end of May, end of June, or within a month's time or whatnot. I'd definitely say that would be a really great way to use World of Trucks, and it would get people into the multiplayer side and also get people into the game, as it will be something fun and interesting and whatnot. As I did said, it will require synergy between multiplayer and SCS, but I definitely think that's not an issue. And it also brings more content and more interest into the game, which is definitely things you want to have. I think there should also be, another thing I think there should be is leaderboards with friends. So who has the most jobs taken, who's delivered the most miles. So show between your friends, your Steam friends, hook up a Steam account that you can show between your Steam friends who has the most of what, who has the accolades, who's damaged their truck the most, who hasn't done the most damage, who is the best, who's made the most money, stuff like that, accolades. And then it brings a sense of competition, and obviously it keeps people on the game, and it also encourages healthy competition and whatnot, which is never a bad thing. I think there should also be community challenges for certain rewards. So, like Battlefield 4 does, they do competitions, let's say, like, do 1 million revives and everybody gets double XP for a weekend. Maybe SCS could do something along those lines. So maybe something like, if we complete a community challenge of deliver 1,000 truckloads with 0% damage, well, it'd be more than 1,000, but deliver maybe 100,000 truckloads without any damage for a set reward, maybe double XP for a weekend, maybe something along the lines of a new paint pack that could be released, a new DLC you can get, or something like that. I definitely think that's a good idea. Just the same with the flag packs as well. I think that was a great idea that they used, that you had to complete 3 World of Trucks jobs to get that DLC for free. I definitely think that's a great idea. More of that, please. That was definitely a very good idea by you guys. I think there should also be rewards for hitting certain milestones with World of Trucks. Let's say you deliver 100 deliveries, for example, using World of Trucks content. Maybe as a reward you get an XP bonus, something like maybe a free DLC. So if you deliver maybe 200 jobs, they'll give you the new tires and wheel modifications pack for free, or something along those lines. I definitely think something along those lines will definitely be valuable additions to this game. And this, the solutions that I've mentioned, working more on ATS than ETS, making more use of World of Trucks, and also using the modding community, can alleviate a lot of the problems that are currently situated with SCS and the game at the moment. But right, I'm going to move in now to my final thoughts. Okay, so now for my final thoughts on ATS and whether or not I can think it can be a great game again. Now, to be honest with you, I already think the game is in a really good position, and okay, it's not great, it's not as amazing as its predecessor, but I think this is only a temporary thing. At the moment, the game is good with what we've got. There is some content issues, yes, I do admit. There is some issues with the actual realism of the game, I do get that. But overall, the game is solid. There's not any huge bugs, glitches, or issues and whatnot. And it's only going to get better when we get along, when we get more content, and we start seeing more stuff to be implemented. I think to make this game great, if we implement some of these solutions, like using the modding community and whatnot, we can actually get ourselves an even greater game than what we've got right now. If SCS take more of a hand into the community, take more of a proactive look at the community and the modding community, we could see ourselves getting an absolutely amazing game on our hands, and even better than ETS2, most likely. But time is an issue. I can't deny it that time is an issue. Content, they've recently released an article on Today of Recording about the fact that they have hired more 3D developers and whatnot, which is great, but time is still an issue. We need to make sure that they are keeping us with decent content and they're not taking too long. It took them for near enough 3 months to bring out Arizona. And this is with them already working on it beforehand. I do not want to hopefully see this repeated again. And hopefully with more 3D designers, we won't have this issue repeated again. Because one of the things that could potentially kill this game is it taking too long for them to drop content into this game. But the prospects overall, I have to admit, for the game do look good. I do like the way it's going along and the way the game is coming out. They haven't done anything at the moment that has truly annoyed me about it, apart from really the split focus, but I can kind of see why they've split the focus of the game. I'm not totally against the concept of it being a split game or a split focus and whatnot. So, yeah, that is going to be my final thoughts, and this is going to be my Make It Great Again video on ATS and whether or not it can be made great again. I hope everybody has enjoyed this video. Make sure you go and check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook links. God damn, couldn't get my words out there. Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook links, and also my Game Whisper link if you would like to get this video in early access, and also some other great benefits for if you join us on a stream. But yeah, this is going to be me signing off. You'll have a next video next week of XCOM 2. We are going to be looking at XCOM 2 and how we can make it great again. But right, thank you everybody for watching. I am going to sign off. I've been Mr. Iveco, and you've been you. Peace. Say that it feels right.